All right. Testing. Let me see if I'm up here because my phone been bugging. I mean, not my phone, but this software, this YouTube, and everything has just been bugging, and I haven't been able to get on like I want to. And I know you said, Rob, you've been dealing with this for about 5 years, Bob. 5, 10 years. I know. Leave me alone. All right, I gotta perfect this thing right now, and as of now, I don't see anything showing me on YouTube right about now. Let's see. All right, I think I did. Give me a moment. Let me check. There we go. All right, so my mic is sounding great. Welcome to another episode of the Bobby Brown Show on the go. I'm your humble host, Bobby Bob TV Brown. I want to shout out my sister for making this, my legitimate sister, my real deal sister, Krista Carnegie, for making this shirt for me. It was like the chains are still on us financially. We got to break those chains, and the best way to break those chains is reparations. And we're going to keep talking about it until it happens. We're not going to stop. We're going to continue to press forward. I don't care what your ideology on it. You need to get an understanding about it so it can change, because most of you don't know nothing about it. I'm still learning about it. I wasn't a reparationist before. Remember, I used to be on the Bernie Sanders train. Then when he blew off reparation for black people, I was like, yo, that's another reason for me to leave you alone, dude. But it's not about none of that. You go to Twitter today, you will see a series I did on how Bernie Sanders killed the political revolution, how it was fake from the start. We all got hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok, and defrauded. And you should be outraged to this very day. To this very day, you should be pissed off at Bernie and the Democratic Party for that head fake that they did, because it cost you a lot of freaking money, a lot of time off your job, a lot of energy that was spent because you really believed that this man was going to be an independent outside of the Democratic Party. And there's no such thing. No such thing. Robert F. Kennedy is not an independent outside the Democratic Party. He always say with his own mouth, I'm trying to bring the Democratic Party back to my dad and my uncle days. No, we need to move forward. Those days are done. That was the civil rights generation. They wasn't even really in it like that. They wasn't in love with black people and wanted black people rights. It was the pressure on their behind that made them bend the knee. So the Kennedys ain't all that as you think they are, okay? And the same thing go for anybody else. We're moving forward. I'm post-duopoly. I've been post-duopoly since the Bernie Sanders. Matter of fact, I was post-duopoly during the second term of Obama. You know, I never really supported political parties, man. I supported individuals based on their beliefs and what they stood for. I mean, I as a not so perfect Christian, always mess up all the time. I went with George Bush one year, and then I went Obama the next year, and then I went with Jill Stein the next year, and then I went with push Bernie Sanders, because of the policies, not because of his past, but what his policies that I saw. I was looking at the policies and didn't even really dig into the past. And when I digged in the past, I was like, oh, shoot, this Negro he supported this crap. He head faked and tried to make like he didn't support, but at the end of the day, he still supported this crap. And I can't get with nobody that's supporting this crap. So here we are, fast forward, 2024 is on the way as 2023. And the political is getting hotter. It's getting hotter. If you decide that I'm detaching myself from parties, which Malcolm X taught people to do, never show allegiance politically. Let them know that I can always move back and forth, because I'm doing this based on my interests, not your political interests, not the country's political interests, but the interests of myself and my community. Yes, I'm very selfish. Yeah, especially when I've been neglected for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I'm very selfish now. A lot of people talking about black people. I mean, why y'all? No, you being so? No, we're not being selfish. Yeah, well, we can't say we're being selfish because we've been in it for everybody, dime. I mean, do you realize since the foundation of this country, black people, foundational black Americans, some from Africa, most from the United States that were already here, the black Cherokees, you name it, there were black Indians already here, black Native Americans already here. that reclassified as slaves. And we fought in every single freaking war this country had. We didn't have no Asians by our side. We didn't have no Arabs by our side. We didn't have none of that. It was strictly white and black. White and black fighting for the freedom of this country. Yet every time we fought, it was back to the slave plantation you go, Negro. Some way, somehow. May not have been a literal plantation, but it was a plantation nevertheless. And it seemed like when black people started to get some courage for themselves and begin to think for themselves, they get ostracized. I know a lot of us don't like Kanye West ways and things like that. I mean, for nothing, Kanye has a good side. Kanye has a crazy side. He's Kanye. But at the end of the day, the brother actually believes that he's fighting for goodness in his own heart. We may not agree with it, but that brother believes that. At the end of the day, I'm going to support you just for the simple fact you're black. And if you really, really got a heart for your community and really, really want your community to do better, even though we got different ideologies, I'm going to respect you to a certain point. Okay? I'm not going to ostracize you, and you ain't going to try to get me to ostracize somebody. Okay? You want to ostracize them? Fine. I'm too busy working on myself. I ain't got no time to be crapping on anybody. Recently, with the way things are going in politics and with the way things are going politically, a lot of people are standing their own personal moral ground. A lot of people believe their morality is more important than political alliance. I'm one. I am not the most moral man, but I'm working on it. I want to be more moral. I want to increase my morality. I want to be the best version of me as I can ever be. I don't want to be a go with the flow, get along type of person. I want to be a peculiar people, as the scriptures say. I want to be a chosen generation. I don't want to be going the same direction as the world. There's a scripture say narrow is the road to righteousness. Wide is the path of destruction. I don't want to be on a wide path of destruction. And I'm not going to be on a wide path of destruction. I don't care who tell me I have to and who try to push me. I'm not. You want to be on a wide path of destruction? Fine. What do you mean by the wide path? Where everybody else goes, I'm not necessarily going to go that way. My moral conviction is going to get stronger and more convicted. I mean, I welcome the conviction. When I do wrong, I welcome the conviction because it lets you know you're going the wrong way. When you have no conviction, then that's a problem. And I'm not talking about condemnation. There's a difference between conviction and condemnation. Condemnation is when you're being peed on, or Kelly style. When you're being dumped on, Biggie Small style. That was a Biggie Small talked about how the girl wanted to take a dunk on him. when you in those, that's what you call condemnation. I embrace conviction. I don't embrace condemnation. You ain't gonna condemn me. I want you to hear this. Those who in political land, Democrats, Republicans, Independent, whoever, I will not take kindly to you taking a dump on me. You ain't going to ever try to bring condemnation on me. If anything, I'm going to condemn you. I don't want to condemn you. I leave you to your own moral conviction. I want you to, it's going to take a personal conviction in you to deal with you. And that has to take place with every individual in order for them to get off the wide path of destruction and onto the narrow way of righteousness. Don't be coming up here preaching, brother. I'm not preaching at all. Not preaching at all. There are going to be a lot of people this year that's going to take a strong stance against these two-party systems. They're tired of some of the way that the Republicans are going. Some of them are going to the extreme far right, to the point where it's getting into Nazism and fascism. Then you got some on the left that's going to the extreme middle. Some of them Democrats that's going extremely right, but saying they're going centered. Then you got those who going so far left that it's ridiculous. Man, y'all, it's anything goes. How in the world are you going to try to come up with laws because I misidentified you? How are you going to come up with laws because of your feelings? When we started writing laws based on people's feelings? We got a punk generation, a mamby-pamby, whiny, crybaby generation. That's why these foreign countries looking at us and saying these Negroes think they all that strong. They weak as heck. Yeah, we want to get mad at other countries because they're not as weak as we are, because they're strong in their convictions. Some of them so strong they go into condemnation, but they got to deal with that on their own. We can't force that on them. We're pushing all these dumb legislations. You can't say vagina no more. I'm going to say vagina all I want because I love me some vagina. I'm a man. I'm a man that appreciates a beautiful woman and her mind, yes, but I also appreciate and love the beautiful parts of a woman. Some hitting. I'm not going to be talking about no bonus hole crap. Bonus hole. Get out of here. Birthing woman. No, I believe a woman is somebody who gives birth. I don't care if you end up identifying as a man and you decide to let your woman get you, and you decide to let somebody plant one in you for the sake of you and your couple. You giving birth to that child signifies to me, I don't care if you can cancel me, whatever, you're a born bred, natural, shout out to Aretha Franklin woman. Now, if you want to identify a woman, hey, if you want me to call you a woman, I'll call you a Corvette if that's what you like, because I'm here to bring. I ain't got time for the mess. Let me put it this way. I ain't gonna say I'm not here to start no trouble, nothing like that. Actually, I like a little trouble, but no, I'm here. I'm not trying to cause no peace. What I do on my personal time. But when I'm on a business environment, something like that, I'm going to deal with you as a business. I'm going to deal with you as a client. You might get mad at me because I won't look at your sex. I will look at you as a client, a prospect, a product buyer, a service receiver. And you might get offended over that. Anyway, why am I getting off on this? Today, I want to talk about people who are so strong in their convictions that when you start going so far away from my conviction, I'm going to stay here. Or I got to go toward a path that's closer to my conviction. Now, a lot of people ask me, Rob, are you voting for Donald Trump, Biden, Cornel West? I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I got two things I'm looking for: what you did in the past, what you're doing now, and what you're doing in the future. And if you ain't doing all that hot in your past, and if you ain't doing all that hot in your future, then you can hide behind yourself away from me, because I'm not voting for you. If you're not talking, if you don't have a black agenda up front and you don't support reparations, and I'm not talking about any reparations, the reparations that the grassroots movement, if you're not getting your counsel from Dr. Claude Anderson and other black economists on this subject, if you're not getting your guidance from them and your numbers from them, then, hey, even Marcel Dixon, if you're not concerned with that, brother, then I'm not voting for you. Plain and simple. But you going to hand it over to, no, my vote don't hand it over. You not earning my vote is handing it over. It's on you. See, I'm telling you, you're not going to come condemn me. I'm going to condemn you. You're not going to bring conviction on me. I'm going to bring conviction on you. Give me a second. Trying to get myself together. I ain't got time for all that crap. I'm not going to put up with it. You put it in my face, I'm going to take it and put it in your face. I'm not even going to allow you to do it. And it don't work. You can say all you want, do all you want, whatever. Just go out the other ear. I'm like The Rock when they was talking about Farouk and him going against Kim Shamrock. Rock was rolling his eyes while Farouk was talking. I'm rolling my eyes while you talking. I'm like, whatever. Because I ain't got time for it. I'm going to live in peace and harmony. And I'm the type of person that says that I'd rather die achieving the impossible than living in the mediocre. It's time for Black people to start living in mediocre. It's time for you to start achieving the impossible. You've been doing so much for so many people in this country. You fought for immigration laws to be changed for people to come into this country. Now it is biting you in your behind because they're getting all the carte blanche and you ain't getting nothing. And I know some people don't like me saying that, but it's true and you know it. I live in New York. I'm oftentimes over there in that area by the Roosevelt Hotel, and I'm seeing all these immigrants, probably a few Nigerians and blah, blah, coming. I don't see no Black Americans. You know, Black Americans make up some of the majority of the homeless population. A lot of them are just priced out of their house because rent too high. Majority of them are looking for better shelter, and they'll pick anybody else over them. Now, and let me get to my story. My story today is about a Black politician who decided that you guys on the left are going too far. I can't vote for this stuff. I'm not voting for this stuff. And when she decided that she's not going to support these things, the Democratic Party, yes, the Democratic Party, not talking about Republicans. A lot of people say, how come you guys don't talk about Republicans? Let me share this real quick. For over 50 years, I'll even pull back and say 30. We have given our support to pushing this party to the moon and back. And yes, this party have allowed Black leaders to get in positions of power. Yet those Black leaders are puppets of the white supremacist leaders in this political party. They have a control over them. And if you don't follow the leader, if you don't bend the knee, if you don't get in line, they will strip funding for you in your campaign. And your goal in office isn't really, number one, to focus on the people. You say that crap, but your goal, like AOC, is to get that 5-year mark where you set for life at 35, 45. You set for life. You're going to get a check-in. You're always going to get health care. You're always going to get everything. You're going to sit on some board. You're going to collect checks and show up for a meeting maybe twice a year at a board meeting. You ain't going to say nothing, but sit there. That's how it is. These people don't give a crap about you. And for far too long, we've done all these things and we've gotten nothing specifically done for our community. Nothing. And then we got immigrant Black politicians that are taking these positions. And a lot of them came in here post 1970. A lot of them, not all of them, but most of them. Post 1970. So they don't know the struggles. They don't know the Black plights of the foundational Black Americans in this country and how we fought for them to get into this country. But yet we feel like you turn coat on us and start serving the white supremacists. And I get it. They got the money fingers in you. They have the ability to give you prestige, fame, and fortune. And that's what we call a tether. A tether is a person who knew that the Black community fought for them and some died for them to come to this country and become American citizens, but yet you're going to stomp on us and look down on us and point the finger on us and to try to act like you better than us and claim that you guys just, you in other words, you side with white supremacy over the Black community in general, the Aspiro, especially foundational Blacks who, pretty much got you here. These white people weren't changing laws to get you here. You do understand that, right? These people did not want you here. They wanted to maintain a white majority, and they knew if you come in here, it could mess that up. And then when they were forced by pressure to give everything, to give civil rights to foundational Black Americans, they say, okay, might as well give it to everybody. Everybody from all over the world. It's like, despite you, okay, you fought hard for that toy, and you wanted to be special with that toy, and your mama decided to get that toy for you and everybody else in the family and everybody else in the neighborhood. How would you think you feel? So what I'm saying is that we have politicians. This is why we don't talk about Republicans, because we know that's their misnomer with us. They haven't act like they're our friends, smile in our face all the time, want to take our place, backstabbing us. They haven't stood by us and say, let's do this together, all for one for all, together. Let's save democracy and all that. Yet at the same time, let's put some legislation. Let's get a crime bill for Asians. Let's in 3 days. Let's go ahead and do this for the LGBTQ community. Let's go ahead and do this for DACA. Blah 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 blah. Ain't did nothing for you, and get mad at you because you're not pushing that and saying that you're not part of the whole of the community. When you say enough is enough. And then you're going to shame us if we're not in agreement with you. Which brings me to this story right here. Georgia Democratic Misha Maynor of Atlanta, Georgia, at odds with her party, and so she switched to the Republican Party. Now we're going to go over this article right here. Maynor is a Democratic. She ran in the Democratic Party. She won in about as a blue politician, 60%, overwhelming majority lead in that district. My question is, how and why did she win at that majority, at that margin? Because of the issues. A lot of Democrats are conservative in nature, but yet people trying to push them to go to the extreme left. It's like me. I have some conservative in me. I have some liberal in me. You can't put me in a box, and you're going to have people that run for office. You can't put them in a box, but they only have a few choices. You can run locally, you can run Democrat, Republican, or you can go third party. In areas like that, third party structures are hard. Not saying you shouldn't run. But the people are so occultic in their mind when it comes to voting and partyism and stuff like that. Is you ain't getting them out that cold. The only way you're gonna get them out that cold is you got to take out that cold leader. But usually when you take out that cold leader, another one gonna rise up right behind it. That's worst. I mean, who you get? You get the governor, you get Negan, who do you get? All of them crazy. Well, let's read the story real quick. At odds. So she decided that, look, you guys going too far past my moral conviction. I mean, if you want to believe that way and want to legislate that way, that's you. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to turn away from my moral conviction and my beliefs. And in some case, my faith in my religion and my God for the sake of you pushing this. Because that's remember I talked about that on one of my videos. These are people's moral beliefs. And in the United States, we have freedom of religion. And you may not be a religious man, and you may not be believed, but that is your religion. Religion is basically what you believe and act upon. Everybody got some form of religion, whether they want to believe it or not. The person who says that I'm a secularist, I don't believe in a God. That's your conviction. That's your faith. That's what you believe. That's your religion. A Georgia state legislator from Atlanta switched to the Republican Party on Tuesday after being at odds with Democrats for reasons including her support for school vouchers and disciplining prosecution. Now, I support school vouchers. I support charter schools. I live in New York. Charter schools are a breath of fresh air. Now, charter schools in New York are public schools. They're not private. There's a difference between private school and charter schools. Even me and Roland Martin, and I don't like no Roland Martin, we agree with that. A lot of the charter schools in New York, you can have 6 or 7 charter schools in an old public school building because they're still considered public schools. And they have a system they use getting kids from the hood to college. A lot of people don't like Success Academy, but all my God kids went to Success Academy and all of them are successful. None of them fell into crack and end up in the hood and end up in jail and end up doing this and end up that. All of them doing good. All of them. Because they have a system. You may not agree with that system, but they have a system. It's not always about test. And let me tell you something. They're a little regiment. Believe me, I popped up and checked on my God kids all the time. They're a little regiment. but it works. And they do teach Black history. Now, back to Maynor. Representative Misha Maynor becomes the only Black member of the GOP among Georgia's 236 state lawmakers and the first Black Republican woman to ever serve in the Georgia General Assembly. Maynor defection gives Republican a 102 to 78 edge in the House. Now, it didn't change the edge in the House. 102 to 78. So the Republicans already had a majority in the House. Maynor said legislative Democrats drove her out the party for breaking party orthodoxy. Like I said before, a lot of people get in this party and become occultists. It's vote blue no matter who. It's vote red until you're dead. You're so occultist about these parties. You act like you got no life outside of these parties. My life is better because this part. No, your life is better because of what you believe, your faith, and how you govern concerning that, even when it comes to legislating. She disagreed. She broke party orthodoxy. Orthodoxy is what goes on in religions. Claiming at a Tuesday news conference outside the Georgia Capitol that they had relentlessly tried to sabotage every single thing that they have done for District 56 and publicly slander me in every way imaginable. Now, what's the things that she done in her district? We're going to go over that in another video. I ain't got time to go through that right now. I thought it was okay to not agree with those things as a Democrat. So according to her, you can't disagree with the orthodoxy of the Democratic Party. You know what that is called? A cult. Man, you can't agree with Jim Jones in Jonestown. I ain't going to go into how that could be a CIA, blah, blah, blah. But no, you got too many occults out there. You cannot disagree with the cult leader. You can't disagree with the doctrine. Even in my Christianity, you go against the Christianity. If the preachers and the pastors and the congregation is all on your behind, then that's what you call a cult. You got the freedom to agree or disagree. There's a lot of things in the scripture I'm like, I don't know about that. Man, I need to study this more. I'm not just going to automatically agree with the crap. But some people say the Bible said so, I do it. No, I got to arrive to that. It ain't that simple. Some people if the Bible said it, I do it. It ain't that simple, man. No, you got to have faith to do that. And right now, I ain't got no faith in that. Don't mean I can't get it, but right now I don't. But let me keep going. I thought it was okay to not disagree with those things as a Democrat, but they told me, you know what? Those are values we just don't have, Maynor said, flanked by State Republican Party Chairman Josh McCoon. But she had long been on the outs of the party, outs as part of a minority faction of Atlanta area Democrats, and for deep personal reasons revolving around stalking incidents where Maynor felt her stalker got off too easy. So she had a stalker within the system. The tensions between Maynor and other Democrats burst into an open earlier this year after Maynor became the only Democrat to vote for a school voucher bill that failed after a number of House Republicans broke rank to oppose it. School choice has always had some support among urban Black Democrats. That'd be me. I'm not a Democrat, but I'm urban Black. But Maynor fellow party members reacted with scorn even as Republicans rallied to Maynor's support. State Senator Josh McLaurin, an Atlanta Democratic, posted a picture of a $1,000 check online for a primary challenger, writing, "All I need is your name." So because she broke ranks, they saying we got to immediately start getting her out of office. I'm looking for, I'll give $1,000 to the first person that's willing to challenge her. In other words, wanted, dead or alive. In other words, I'm hiring a marshal to get you out of here. Maynor first elected 2020 represents House District 56, an ultra Democratic swath of Atlanta, including its midtown neighbors and close-in parts of the city's west side. She had said earlier that she wouldn't switch parties. She said earlier she would not switch parties. Tuesday, though, she urged other lifelong Democrats to re-examine the party values. In other words, it's not the name of the party, it's how the values. The values have changed tremendously. Some for the good, some for the worst. I could get with the good, I can't get with the worst. The worst is outweighing the good, and now I got to weigh my options whether I want to continue to be pushy. If I don't mind staying in the party, if I have the freedom to go with my moral conviction. But when you start telling me to be a cultist about the party values, I can't do that. I'm not going to be your robot. I'm not going to be your a cult member. And folks went off, lost their mind. One dude put out a $1,000 check to primary her. I'm encouraging more Black Americans. Listen to this. This is key. I'm encouraging more Black Americans and Black Democrats in particular. You might have this coat on, but I suggest you look at the lining. See what's on the inside, she said. You might have this coat on, but I suggest you look at the lining, see what's on the inside, she said. You know, back in the day, one of the methods that were used to slaughter Native Americans was these colonizers, these genociders would lace coats with diseases and hand it over to Native Americans to spread these diseases. They manufactured a garment, fill it up with diseases, and gave it to Native Americans to slaughter them, to genocide them. I honestly believe those things still happen today, that they manufacture disease and carry it some kind of way, somehow, into a community to try to wipe out a community. If they did it back then, why they ain't doing it now? And technology is far advanced now. And some people, they going crazy over what Robert F. Kennedy said. Hey, man, I'm not doubting Jack. I reserve my opinion on these things. I know it sounds crazy, but then sometimes you think about it. Look, these people do manufacture stuff. You know, they do stuff just to be doing it. These people do create things for a reason, so they could test it here, test it there, call it manufacturing consent, whether it's politically or even socially or scientifically. Maynor, first elected in 2020, represent House District 56, an ultra-Democratic party. Now, let me go back to that. I'm encouraging more Black Americans and more Black Democrats in particular. You might have this coat on, but I suggest you look at the lining and see what's on the inside. McCoon welcomed Maynor, saying her move shows that the Republican Party is where diversity of opinions is welcome. Lie. Nigga, don't start that. Where different ideas taken talking about different policy ideas and solution together is a strength, not a weakness. Now, Maynor, my message to you is, if you're going to hold your conviction about the Democratic Party to the point where you leave it, you got to hold your conviction over here to the Republican Party too. If these people really believe in you, really believe in your support, really believe that you cared about the people, they would take off the partyism and look at you. You can run independent and still win 60%. That's what I'm saying. These people are stuck in the cult. They voted blue no matter who, because you're a D. Now, I don't doubt that there were a lot of people there who probably voted for you because they believe in you, they trust you, and they saw your platform and what you're about. They saw your past, present, and they're looking to the future, what you can do for the community. But Black people, you got to stop this. You got to look at that individual and give that individual a chance no matter what party they're in. third party, fourth party, blue or red. If they're really concerned about you and they're running that party and they're willing to stand up against that party to the point, you know, she ain't have to lead the party. She could say, y'all kiss my behind. I'm still going to stay. I'm still going to be who I want to be and do what I want to do. Y'all got to kick me out. And believe me, they saw that she would not toe the party line. So they started the process of trying to get her removed. So she was like, look, I'm going to troll y'all pretty much. I'm going to the Republican Party. She could have said, look, I'm just going to be independent. But she knew what she was doing. And a lot of people say, Brown, what in the Republican Party is there that you want? They're a bunch of racists. Democrats racist too. Look what they're doing to her. And I'm just starting with this thing. We're going to see some of the things that they did to her as a result of her leaving the party. Let me keep going. We can disagree, but still come together on things that matter the most to us, McCoon said, pledging to support Maynor's reelection bid. So Maynor wants this, McCoon wants Maynor to continue to be the politician she is, but McCoon got to understand that Maynor shouldn't have to kiss y'all behind either. She should be able to represent her community, no matter what party she in. U.S. Rep. Nikema Williams, chair of the Democratic Party of Georgia, lambasted Maynor in the switch as a stinging betrayal of her Democratic constituent. Folks are not voting Democratic Party for the name. Then again, folks are. If you're people who are voting for Democrats for the name, you lost your mind. You vote for that Democrat because of what they're planning on doing for your community. If they don't plan on doing anything for your community, specifically in your community, then you don't need to be voting for them. Stop following this occultist crap. You don't vote blue no matter who. You don't vote red till it's dead. You vote based on the individual past, present concerning growing your community. The focus on your community, not even the international community. Your community, you put them there. They're supposed to focus on yours. If everybody focus on their community and what their community want, then the whole community in whole will be better. It's not, I'm going to detach myself away from your community and do my own thing. What are you doing for the community? Now, if you trusted Maynor and you seen her record, what make you think she's not going to do that regardless of where she go? What make you think she all right, she ain't going to do it now because she's not. What make you think the Democratic Party was doing that? What's the Democratic Party really looking out for your community? Let me keep going. I can't make this thing too long. So she called her a turncoat. No, y'all are turncoat because you turn your black on the black community. Y'all are turncoats because you turn your black back on the working class community. You ship all our jobs overseas. You're allowing, and now the only thing we have is the service sector. And now you're trying to destabilize the service sector with the people who are citizens of the United States by allowing immigrations coming in to freely take some of the service jobs away from the people who are here in the United States and offer cheaper labor and turn your back on unions. Now, I know some of you folks say, well, the union can go get the money. They can't. They can't. They're not going to get a green card that easy, and visas are not counting. Even though some of the laws saying they can push over to the unions and stuff like that, the bottom line is it's still destabilizing the people who are already in the United States that are part of the working class structure. We need to be forceful on maintaining the working class structure where a person can get a job doing plumbing and getting paid $25, $30 an hour versus a person getting a job doing plumbing and getting $15. But we'll talk about that more. Maynor's decision and some of her legislative actions are also driven by much more personal disputes. She sued Fulton County Commissioner Marvin R. Arrington Jr., Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, and the county in federal court in 2022, alleging that they had violated her civil rights in a case where a former campaign worker has stalked her. Willis claimed Arrington, who was the man's defense attorney, improperly used his position as commissioner to get a favorable plea deal for the stalker. Wow. Maynor also alleged Willis didn't adequately investigate the crime before offering a plea deal. Wow. U.S. District Judge Sarah Garagati dismissed the case in March. Why? Ruling that the alleged action could constitute a civil rights violation even if she accepted all of Maynor's claim. So the lady make these claims and they wouldn't even seek prosecution of this guy. Why was that? Because she don't toe party line. The last legislator Democrat in Georgia to switch to Republican Party was DeKalb County's Vernon Jones, who happens to be on the show with Marcel Dixon and Tamara Shealy. Go watch that video on Marcel Dixon 50 Shades Greg. And he was on there talking from a Republican point of view, but they had pushed back on him on some of his views too. And this is what I like. I like when people from all facets, Democrat, non-Democrat, whatever, reparationists and Republicans and all to get together and actually talk about things concerning the Black community, your vision, our vision, their vision, and try to meet in the middle, or if anything, try to pull somebody to your side. I appreciate that. But anyway, Vernon Jones, who plugged into GOP in January 21 as a supporter of then President Donald Trump. At the end of Jones' last term in the state house, Jones abandoned the Republican Party challenger to Governor Brian Kemp at Trump's behest, and then lost a Republican congressional primary runoff in Georgia's 10th district to current Representative Mike Collins, despite Trump backing. So Vernon Jones is running again. You got reparationists. You got reparationalist Miss Shealy, Tamara Shealy, that's running. All these people representing Georgia. You got this lady. So you got a reparationist, a conservative, and a Democrat turned Republican. Doesn't mean that she's extreme right. She's at a position now, and a lot of us are in that same position, and this is why we detach ourselves from the two-party system. We're in this position now where we can see you going too far right, you can go too far left, and at the end of the day, it's about my moral conviction and what I believe. It's not about gangism. It's not about clubism. It's not about occultism. I'm not in your gang. I'm not in your club, and I'm not in your cult. What drives me is my moral conviction. And I may not have that much, but the little bit I got right now convicts me. Now, I've told you about the things I'm not going to support. I don't support this drag teaching on sending drags to talk to kids. Keep that environment out. I don't even support a plumber coming talking to your kids. You know, I could see career day, but who I am day, I ain't for that. Let the kids have their time, grow up as kids, blah, blah, blah. Once you get into high school, then you do the career days and stuff like that. What's the use to bring career day to a 6-7-year-old kid and they're not even going to remember you coming in? And they don't remember your career, who you are and what career you're with when they turn 10. All that stuff is a waste of time. Let these kids get their kids stuff on. Leave the kids out of it. I'm not for that. I'm not for taking your kid to no pride parade. I'm not for your kid getting involved with any of that stuff. Let the kids be kids. What you do you. I'm not 100% on board with abortion. No, I don't think you need to be getting rid of the baby because you and Chuck don't get along no more. You find that Chuck got another girl pregnant, so you go get rid of the child you got. No. I can see if you're in a health situation and there's a life and death situation, I can see that you're a young child and you got raped, and having that baby can probably really damage you mentally and physically. I can see things like that, but because you and Chuck broke up, get out of here with that crap. I'm not for that. Stop being the coward, have that child and give it to somebody who want to have the child. Well, it's going to mess up her memory and she got to feel, no, don't believe that. I've known people who had babies from people who took advantage of them. I mean, my community have a history of rapists and stuff like that, especially from back in the 1800s. Man, we were raped and pillaged like crazy, but we didn't have no abortion. We still had the baby. and we nurtured that baby. And that baby ended up being a beautiful, bright young person and doing great things for the next generation. You never know what a child can be if that child don't have a chance. Anyway, I'm gonna get off that because I know some of you guys don't believe it. Like I said, there's cases where I can understand, but there's cases where, man, I don't stop with that mess. Stop. Anyway, let me keep going. All right, so I'm gonna get to a video if I can pull it up of Miss Maynor talking about her situation. And let me see if I can pull that video up. Just give me a second. Let me see. Is this it? Is this it? Maybe this is it. Let's see. Nah, that's Coleman Q. Let me tell you something. If you ever see this dude, don't listen to him. Any Negro on a train half naked dancing, and I guarantee you he wasn't on the uptown train going to the Bronx. He wasn't on his way to Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. That Negro was going to Soho, Chelsea, because ain't no way we gonna let you come on the train doing this mess in the South Bronx. We kicking your behind. We stumping a mud hole in your behind. But that's not the video I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to this young lady talking about the things that she had to go through as a result of this. Give me a moment. Where's that video? Where's that video at? Let me see. I thought I had it on cue, and I guess I don't. Give me a moment. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. This is why I pre-record. Because I don't like to keep people hanging. Let me see. Where is it? Give me a moment, guys. This is when you're not prepared. I thought I had it queued up, and it wasn't queued up at all. I'm gonna have to edit this, take this video down. All right, here we go.
New fallout and backlash for many of you as a Democratic state representative from one of Georgia's bluest districts announces she is defecting to the Republican Party. Thanks for staying with us at 5:30.
Yeah, and so Misha Maynor said she is tired of attacks from her fellow Democrats. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live in Midtown, part of Maynor's District 56. So, Doug, what does this mean for the people that she represents?
Right, that is a good question, and still really to be determined for a lot of them. We met.
All right, I'm gonna stop right there. What it means is if she really represents you, you still support her. That's what it means. You don't support her because she's a Republican or a Democrat or independent. You support her because she supports you. If she supports you and you can go out there and vote for her 60%, it don't matter where she stands, long as she stands on the belief of fighting for you. It don't matter what party she's in. But if there's a party harassing her, in this case, the Democratic Party is harassing her, calling her all kind of names because she don't support the orthodox views of today's Democratic Party, not yesterday's, today's. Because she's been ostracized, I mean, you're going to have so much. I mean, who wants to stay in a relationship when the Negro keep beating you up? My mama said the first time she hit you, that's on her. Second time she hit you, that's on you. George Bush said it famous, fool me once, shame on. You can fool me once, but you can't fool me again. In other words, you got me that time, but it ain't gonna happen again. Believe me, I know what it's like. My first wife was kind of handsy. And eventually got to the point where I'm gonna get handsy back or I gotta leave. And guess what I chose to do? I left because I was about to get handsy back on her. And there were plenty of cases I had to aggressively push her behind off me. I mean, one time we got in a fight and she right now. Now, believe me, we the best of friends now. She's sweet. Me and my ex-wife, we're great friends. We got each other back. You know, we ain't ever getting back together, but we're great friends. I mean, she got my back, I got her back. We understand the mistakes we had in the past, blah, blah, blah. But I remember when she ran on my foot with my baby in my arm. See, those things are in my memory. So this lady is understanding that because she won't go the traditional orthodox way of the Democratic Party, she's getting pressed on. She's being harassed. She's being ostracized. That is what you call a cult. You start to move away from the views of Jim Jones, the whole church is going to look at you like something wrong with you, the whole congregation. And they will harass you. You ask anybody that's been a part of the Scientology movement, you ain't getting no breath. You start going against Scientology, man, they coming to your house. I'm like, Negro, you better get off coming to my house with this bull crap. What she's going to do, what are the constituents going to do? If the constituents believe in her, they're going to still support her. If constituents don't continue to support her, it is a proven fact. They have drunk the Kool-Aid or the Wilders, because it never was Kool-Aid. I don't know where he got from. Jim Jones had Wilders. He was too cheap to get Kool-Aid with all that money he got from his congregation. You're going to drink the Wilders with cyanide. You done drunk it, and you're going down that wide path of destruction instead of going the narrow way to righteousness. She chose to go the narrow way of righteousness. And when I say right, see, there's a difference between doing right and being right. Doing right and being right. She wants to do right. The Republicans saying this, the Democrats saying this is the right way to go. No, I'd rather do right than be right in your eyesight.
Representative Maynor here at the campus of Georgia Tech, which is in her district in the Midtown area of Atlanta. She won this district with 65% of the vote. So people really liked her, but keep in mind they were voting for a Democrat. When we asked her about it today, she said constituents who cast their vote for her shouldn't feel betrayed.
Keep in mind that when people voted for her, they were voting for a Democrat. See, that's the freaking problem. You don't vote for a person because of party affiliation. You vote for the person based on what they plan on doing for your community. If they happen to be a Democrat, great, vote on them. They happen to be a Green Party, great, vote for them. If they're a Republican, great for them, because not every Republican's on extreme left. I told you in Virginia, Representative Ford done more for the black community than Bobby Scott. A Democrat, a career Democrat who's being given the world versus a Republican who's not extreme, but a Republican billionaire who got a little money. Donated a lot of things and did a lot of things in that community. Even here in New York City, much as I don't like Trump, much as I hate how he did the Central Park 5, much as I hate some of the things that he did that and his family have done, that was pretty much white supremacist racist. The man did a lot. He given money to the menacing organization to help after school program for black kids. He rebuilt that skating rink over there in Harlem. He's done a lot financially in the black community with Reverend Al Sharpton. So you can't be in a position where, at the end of the day, it's based on you and your strength and your ability to pull people. See, Martin Luther King had the strength and ability to pull on LBJ. And that man was a flaming bigot to the highest degree. So it's your ability and strength to pull. If these people are upset, if these people voted for her just because she was a D and not for who she is and what she does for them, then the problem is with those people. You're going to cut yourself off to have another Democrat replace her, which you're going to do anyway because she left. That ain't going to do nothing for you. You support that person no matter what because she's for you. But let me keep going.
They should feel encouraged by her switch.
Nothing changes. The only thing that changes is I have support and I'm not being harassed and intimidated.
State Representative Misha Maynor said she was tired of attacks from Democratic colleagues after breaking with the party on several key votes this year. But the last straw, she says, was a vote on a school voucher bill that would have given parents stipends for private educations and homeschooling.
They put a checks up on social media for $1,000 to run against me. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Maynor said she'd been contemplating a defection for a while, but only announced her switch to the Republican Party on Tuesday. She faced immediate backlash.
So, again, I'm going to tell you again, one of my so-called conservative views is I believe in homeschooling. With the crap they're playing in our kids and the stuff they don't want to teach our kids, the stuff they're hiding our kids, it's only going to be able to take place in home. I've had kids in my own that I mentored. Great kids, awesome kids. All of them doing great things today. Majority of the kids that I mentored are doing great things, greater than I can ever imagine. A few of them was homeschooled. I could talk about two in mind. Remember I talked about the young brother that passed away in LA, actor Jason, homeschool. Homeschool, stellar kid, loved people, worked for his community, ended up going to Howard University, had honors in Howard University, went on to end up being scouted by Hollywood and started doing some B work in Hollywood, looking for that big break. Unfortunately, he passed away at an early age because of a lung infection. It hurts me to my heart even thinking about it. That was like one of my sons. The things that I was willing to give my son, I was willing to give him and his brother. And we're still dealing with this situation. Them guys are homeschooled, great kids, stellar kids. I've known my god kids are all of them been to charter schools, all of them been to what they call boarding schools. Great kids. I'm not against none of that. I'm for choice education. She's for choice education. I'm not trying to put every child in a public school. If that's what you want to do, you want to put your child in public school, go for it. I'm not telling every child they need to go to child school, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to give people the freedom of choice. There should be the ability for a parent who have the credentials or have the curriculum to educate their child at home. She's for it. Democratic Party not for it, and they ostracized her for that. They want that child to go to a public school where they can have more control over them than you. So we can train them and teach them whatever we want according to the Department of Education versus you training them according to your faith, your religion, your belief, your structure, and your community.
On social media from Democratic lawmakers and many of her own constituents who didn't vote for a Republican. Do you think that it was fair to constituents who had voted you in as a Democrat to switch parties without an election?
I do. They elected me to serve them. I'm serving them. So I haven't changed anything. I'm the same person, same values, voting for the same things. Just because I switch parties doesn't mean now I'm going to switch my values and my ideals.
Elected officials have the right to represent their constituents in any way they see fit.
Georgia State political science professor Jeff Lazarus says there's nothing unlawful about what Maynor did. In fact, others have done it in the past. But he said it permanently alters the relationship between her and her constituents.
They voted for a Democratic candidate expecting to get Democratic-style representation, and from here on out, it doesn't look like they're going to get it.
Now, how in the world you figure just because she switched that all of a sudden she's going to start pushing Republican style? Now, she could be pushing conservative style because she got conservative Democrats, she got conservative Republican. Conservatism is just a point of view. It has nothing to do with political parties. It's just a point of view. I have a conservative point of view. I have a left point of view about this subject, but I'm conservative about this issue. I'm right on this issue, but I'm in the middle on this issue. I'm on left on this issue. Every person running for office should be free to have a structure, a belief system, and use that belief system to try to better their community, especially most of the people in the community who have the same mindset, because most black Southerners are conservative in nature, but they're not that conservative. Most black Southerners are left in nature, but they're not that left. They're in the middle, and they can fluctuate from the right to the left, not based on political structure, not based on parties, but based on moral conviction and moral beliefs. And at the end of the day, no matter where she go, if she stands strong and say, no, this is about my moral belief, You can't understand. You can't expect me to deal with these megalomaniac, occultist, orthodox Democratic leaders and their point of views. Most of them are northern bougie, boutique left mindsets. That don't work here. It don't work here. Now, I'm going to go to some of these tweets that she had to deal with. I'm going to go to some of these tweets that she had to deal with. Just bear with me. After she left the party, the Democratic Party leaders in that area went full-blown racist on this young lady because of her switch. Full-blown racist on this lady because of her switch. Let me get this up. All right, first one. All right. Full-blown racist because of her switch. Where am I? There we go. All right. Now you see this. This is from Representative Ryan Cook. Ryan Cook. Representative Ryan Cook says, and she just basically say, I'm sorry you feel this way. I pray everyone has a great Sunday. It's another day the Lord has made. In the middle of her being forgiving and loving, she has to deal with this crap from other representatives. What concerns you? What are your priorities? F you, coon. You monkey, bitch. You want to be a party traitor. Now, see, this is where I got to bite my freaking tongue. But I'm going to try to keep this to the end. You want to be a party traitor and go under Brian Kemp's whip? The racist slave tropes. You party traitor. You coon. Monkey, bitch. This is coming from a Democrat. Because he offered you more yams and collards? You despicable and popular might serve you well. You're despicable and popular might service you well. How would you like to help? By taking away your fried chicken, you fat heifer. Now, lady's not a bad looking lady to me. I like the freckles on her face, but I'm not into that. Again, this ain't a Republican doing this. And we got some racist, bigot Republicans, some strong-armed James Eastland, strong Thurman style, right to the right racists in the Republican Party. But now you're starting to see that there's racists in the Democratic Party that if you don't toe the party line, all of a sudden, they lose their mind. It's about controlling. The Republicans are racists in the Republican Party is trying to control the black people in the Republican Party. The racists in the Democratic Party have full control of most of the black people in the Democratic Party. They're not free to be who they want to be. They're not free to go off the orthodox trail. They're not free to think for themselves. They have to think according to the orthodoxy or the bylaws or the mission statement or the policies of the current Democratic Party system. If you get away from this, they're going to take the mask off. In this case, this dude, Ryan Cook, I wish you show us the email. Maybe you could show us the email. Nothing wrong. No, please show us the emails. We ain't going to let these people clap back on you like that. F you, coon. You monkey, bitch. You want to be a party traitor and go under Brian Kemp's whip like she's going under Brian. Brian Kemp don't own the Republican Party. He's just a freaking governor that can be kicked out too. because he offered you more yams and collar. Where do you see he offered her any money? You stupid. You're despicable. Problem might serve you well. How would you like to help? Well, taking away your fried chicken and you fat heifer. Boy, these people something else. Let me go to another one. Let me come out of that one. Let me go to another one. These people are something else. These people are something else. Here's another one. See that? These are the emails that she's getting. And she basically say, I'm sorry you feel this way. What concerns you? What are your priorities? Now, she basically put out there what concerns. She put that up for everybody to answer because she still wants to legislate what she believes is true Democratic policies. I wouldn't put no party name on it. She wants to demonstrate true people policies no matter where she go. You guys ought to be happy that you got a former Democratic in the Republican Party that's still trying to push so-called Democratic values. She's just not just going to go to the extreme like you go. But basic Democratic values, she's still claiming that she's going to push that as a Republican. So she's asking the questions, what concern you? What are your priorities? And here we go. You Niggerbitch. You need to get back on the plantation before Massa Stacy whips your blank A back into shape. You need to stop eating your fried chicken and watermelon with Vernon Jones and get back, Miss Nat Turner. So these are people who are upset that Vernon Jones went with the Republicans and that now she's with the Republicans. Actually, Vernon Jones went with Trump. He is not 100% into the Republican camp. He believes Trump. Why? I have no clue. There's some things I can agree with Trump on, and there's a lot of things I can't agree with Trump on. There's some things I can agree with maybe Biden on, and a lot of things I can't agree with Biden on. Don't mean I'm supporting them. See all these racist tropes? Niggerbitch, back on the plantation with Master Stacy. So he's referring to Stacy as the master. You need to stop eating your fried chicken and watermelon with Vernon Jones and get back, Miss Nat Turner. Now, I don't know if this is a Republican upset that another black person is on their side or what, or just a regular bigot that has no party affiliation. But at the end of the day, she's just asking questions. And you got somebody that's upset with her. Here's another one. Let me go to this one. And she continues to say, I'm sorry you feel that way. Support for anyone with thoughts of self-harm can be assessed by calling 9888. The name on here is Kill Yourself Again. So somebody open up account to be able to ostracize her. What concerns you? What are your priorities? Again, she's asking that from Democrats and probably Republicans and all points in between. What are your priorities? What concerns you? Because I'm going to make it my priority. This bitch killing herself. How would you like to help? Convincing conservatives and their SHIT children to commit suicide is the greatest service one can offer to humanity. Now, this sounds like a fascist, a Nazi, a person who promotes genocide. This person believes that it is a good thing for all conservatives to kill themselves. And if you're that person too, you're trash. You're trash. You're no different than most of these maniac genocidals in this earth today and yesterday. You're trash. to want somebody to wipe themselves from the face of this earth, you're trash. The only thing I won't wipe from the face of this earth is white supremacy ideology. My hopes is those who embrace that ideology change. But I want that ideology off the face of this earth. I try not to target the people, but I tell people that's my hope, that your ideology die. Now, if you're willing to die with your ideology, that's on you. I don't want nobody to die. I don't want nobody off the face of this earth. I don't hate anybody. I'll hate your point of views, and I will hate you if you're going to attack me with them. Long as you keep your hands off me, long as you don't habitually on purpose try to push policies and laws that's going to hurt my community, aka Joe Biden, I ain't got no problem with you. I can care less the way you believe. But ideology, I want that wiped from the face of this earth. But here you got it. Another one. Mad at this lady because she's saying, look, you guys going too far on some of this stuff. And I got the reason, you know, I want to support what I believe is better for my constituents. A lot of my constituents do believe in school vouchers. A lot of black people, again, in the South are conservative by nature, but not to the point where they're going to be Republicans and go to the far right. They still are on the old Democratic system, thinking it's middle conservative Democrats. That's the majority of the 45 and up people. Those are majority of people that's going out to vote. The people that's going out to vote is not the Sukihana, Little Red, whatever her name. That ain't the generation that's in the polls. They in the polls all right, but ain't that kind of poll. Here's another one. I got to just keep showing these things to you, and then we're done. Bruce Papentis. Here she is asking again to her constituents, what concerns you? What are your priorities? You dumb ASS ain't your mama, mother effing traitor. I'll be sure to take a good chunk of my retirement savings, which is substantial, and will donate it to whoever it is that will be running against you. You self-hating black niggers, bitch. Now, I guarantee you, most of these people are either white supremacists in the Democratic Party who don't like it when a Negro is not under their control, and they'll do anything to get them out, or a black bootlick, a black suck up Stephen from Django bootlick in the Democratic Party, a Jim Clyburn, Uncle Ruckus in the Democratic Party. You effing traitor. He said he's going to take his money, a substantial amount of his retirement money. How dumb are you, man? You going to waste your money on some political foolishness like this? When at the end of the day, she still could be fighting for your values. You just want to punish her because she decided to switch over because she said, I can't deal with this. You're beating me with the whip. I was watching the Jim Jones with Power Booth, and the brother went the character I forgot his name from Sesame Street and Roots. Anyway, he was getting a beating because he said something against the religion. He took a beating. After a while, the brother said, had enough. And then he goes to Jamestown to try to be with his family, Jonestown to be with his family. And Jim Jones drugs up his wife and make him part of his harem. And I mean, after all that kind of stuff, enough is enough, man. I got to go. When you got these parties that are so occultic on their point of views that you can't stray away and have a mind of your own, and you get beat down and punished or pretty much lynched because you don't go the path of the wide and narrow that leads to destruction. Why would you want her to stay in that? Why would you want her to continue? This is your party that's doing it, and you being like the cult member, deeply brainwashed in the cult, gonna crap on her. This proves that you're in a cult. You got the nerve to call. No, she's not self-hating. She's self-loving herself. She's showing that she ain't got no allegiance. Her allegiance is to herself, her belief, maybe her God, and her constituents. And she have to let her know, she have to expose the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party. Like, I need y'all to vote for me because no matter where I am, I'm going to support you. Now, if the Republicans start treating me the same way these Democrats treat me, I'm leaving their butt too. Now, I prefer her saying kiss both of them behind, and go independent. That was the best bet for her, but she didn't. I think she's just trying to troll the Democratic Party by going Republican. But if the Republicans saying, look, we ain't going to do you that way, but we can use you. And you're free to legislate however you want, even if we don't agree with it. You're free. That's what it should always be about. No matter what party or what affiliation you are, you should be free to legislate the will of your constituents, not based on party, but based on the needs of that community. How would you like to help? Oh, you'll see come 2024 how I will help to make sure you're defeated. Go run in a Republican Confederate district that loves self-hate Negro. That ain't the word I'm using, like you. Like, there's not no self-hate Negroes in the Democratic Party either. You ain't got no control. How much self-hating is that? You can't even have a free thought, a free way of thinking, a free way to legislation, a free way to voting. You got the nerves to call her self-hating Negro because she just went over to the Republican Party. Now, like I said, Republicans ain't crap either. And I don't know why she went that way. I prefer her go independent, tell both of y'all to kiss her behind, because both of y'all ain't going to serve her well. But as long as you're allowing her, you got to give her the freedom. Democratic Party, this is where you messed up. You sat there and harassed her and ostracized her because she didn't think like you thought. Because she want her community to have the ability to have multiple ways to educate her child. At this rate that the Democratic Party going with all this other crap concerning our kids, I am conservative about the education of our kids. I don't think every kid should be put in a view of any and everything. I'm very particular about the books what books they read and everything at a certain age. I'm particular about that. And for somebody to step outside of that in your party, you're going to ostracize them. You're going to ridicule them. You're going to take them outside to the woodshed and beat them and put them in a hot box? And you got the nerves called Republican, bigot, racist, want to put you on a plantation? You're just as bigot, you just as racist, and you put her in a plantation right now. Before she decided to leave you, you beat her and put her in a hot box. And you're doing it now that she left your plantation. Now, I don't know why she go to the Republican plantation again. That was dumb, but whatever. She didn't need to go to nobody. But I can understand. I'm going to troll you a little bit. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to piss you off. At the end of the day, she's saying no matter where I am, I'm legislating for my community. I'm sorry, community, if you thought I was running based on partyism. I'm running based on taking care of your needs. And party ain't got nothing to do with that. Let's go. I got two more and then we're done. I think two more and then we're done. All right, here's one more and then we're done. We got one more and we're done. Again, Representative Maynor, Misha Maynor, Democrat, who could not get with 100% the views of the Democratic Party in general, because the Democratic Party in general leans more to the far left than the middle or the right. And some of it is far, far left. she decides to legislate the way she legislate based on the needs, what she believes her community needs, what she heard from community, and what she's seen, the policies that she's seen that prospered her community. She wants to go back to those ways. They don't. They abuse her. She decided to go independent. She decided to go in another party. Give me a moment, guys. Give me a moment. My computer always does this. It always cuts off. My screen always cuts off. I would like to help. How would you like to help? I would like to help your retarded black ASS by telling you that saying you would support any candidate picked by the GOP during the primary is retarded. Who said she was going to pick a candidate? Who said she was going to side with a candidate? I haven't heard anything about her picking a candidate. No, that's what you do. You go blue no matter who. That's what you guys do. Who said she's going to do that? That's your motive. That's how you operate. That whoever don't win, if you do not win, or if your guy don't win, we all need to support this person right here, no matter how crazy and maniac they are. That's what you do. You would support any candidate picked by the GOP party during the primary is retarded. I want to know where she said that, because I think you're making that up. Not only is retarded, you live up to the word NIGGR by just following blindly. Remember, you were a Democrat and felt abandoned to become a Republican. And now you're going to follow blindly like you did with your party. You're the stain on society that need to be flushed. I wish you the absolute worst in your political history. You Uncle Tom, BITCH. And look at this. I'm not even going to go into the comment section. This cycle, this 2023-2024 cycle is going to be insane, because we got some insane people in this cycle. You got people who have drunk so much of the DNC blue Kool-Aid, that Shockberry, that Wilders, that they just zombies. Vote blue no matter who is zombieism. That means you're brain dead. Vote red till you're dead, you're brain dead. Anybody who's saying vote for all Republicans, you're a zombie. Blue no matter who, you're a zombie. Anybody who's saying I'm voting third party because I just hate the duopoly system, nah, you don't want to become a zombie either. Okay, you don't make that a zombie issue either. Now I get it. I'm post-duopoly, man. I want to see both of them crumble. But here's the deal. Here's my deal. I never, ever subscribe to voting on parties. Never, ever. I don't even care if you're green. I don't care if you're the Chuck Norris party, the Bruce Lee party, the Fat Albert party. I don't care what party you are. I don't vote for you based on your party. I vote on you based on your policies. Whether you got a blue chance in hell or not, I'm still voting for you because I got to give you a chance. I'd rather give you a chance than sit there and don't give change a chance by voting for people who ain't going to change jack. I'm not going to listen to you with this get in line stuff. That's fascism. That's Nazism. And to ostracize somebody because they don't think like you think, that they're not, that they decided that I want to be a part of this, and somebody left my church back home, I'm not mad at them. Okay, it ain't for you. Still love you. At the end of the day, you still my neighbor. Still a human being. Okay, my church wasn't for you. It's for me. It's not for you. I'm not going to ostracize you or criticize you. All right, you're atheist. I don't know why. I believe that the way things are made in this universe, it had to be somebody hired to create that. That just didn't come out. The Big Bang had to come from somewhere. It's just my belief. If you don't believe it, leave it alone. I'm not pressing you about it. There's a lot of things in the Democratic Party I can't and will not support. Therefore, even if I was a Democrat, it wasn't a guarantee that I was going to vote for you. And I don't do the vote blue no matter who stuff. If I was in the Republican Party and I voted Republican back in 2004, I voted Republican. I didn't vote for I didn't vote for George Bush because I want to vote for George Bush. I voted for George Bush based on some of the policies that I kind of agree with. And he had this faith-based initiative that they wanted to funnel money to church communities to kind of help people on the streets. Now, I didn't dig into that because I was new to this and didn't understand that there was going to be a level of control from the government on the churches. So guess what? Next 4 years, I didn't vote for George Bush. Yes, I did. I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. Try to give him another chance because of the war. Trying to see this war through because I hated the war. But, I was duped believing that there were weapons of mass destruction. And when every time I turned around, they couldn't find none. I was like, boy, I made the wrong vote here. Shame on me. But anyway, again, in closing, this is not the generation 10 years ago. You're not going to shame them. You're not going to smear them. They're not going to take likely to shaming. They're not going to take likely to smearing. I'm going to shame you and I'm going to smear you. You're not going to beat me down because I don't agree 100% with the Democratic point of view. No, I'm my own individual. And as I remember now, this is America, the United States, and we do have rights. And I have the right to say no to both of you. And even if I didn't have the right to say no to both of you and my life was at stake, I'd rather die achieving the impossible than live in the mediocre. I'm not going to be going down whatever way this country decide to go. Somebody got to be able to be on the pushback and say, no, it ain't that way. That's why I love Judge Brown. I mean, I love, he was on the Sabby Sab show. And Judge Brown said, man, there's only three things I hear, either you're he, she, or it. And Sab's like, well, I'll agree with, if they want to be called that, I'll call them that. Judge Joe Brown like, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not bending the knee to know this is no different from the shot. That ain't what he said, but that's what I'm saying. This is no different from forcing you to do something. That is not Americana. That is not the supposed to be United States. See, that proves that we're more fascist and lack freedom than we think we're non-fascist and pro-freedom. That you're going to legislate laws. See, I can't get with that. To cater toward people's feelings. That you're going to change terminologies that's been there from the beginning of time. I can't say vagina no more. I got to say bonus. So no, I'm not doing that. No. No. My wife said, I want you to come tear this vagina up. I'm going to say, okay. I don't want her saying bonus. Oh, tear this vagina. You don't tear this vagina up tonight. Yes. I shall. I know y'all think I'm crazy. I'm not. These are not Republican views. These are Democratic views. This stuff is insane. And you wonder why people are leaving the Democratic Party. You wonder why people are post-duopoly. You wonder why people are not supporting Republican or Democrat. You wonder why almost a majority of people saying, hey, I'm open to a third party, depending on what they got. If they're talking like these other fools, they can step off. I'm open. I don't show no allegiance. I don't show no allegiance to nobody. My allegiance is to myself, my family, and my people. And if you're telling me I have to be in a party to show that I love you, no, that ain't working. because I love you, I can't support this. I had to tell somebody that the other day. I was like, look, okay, you like smoking weed. You love me. You shouldn't have no problem. I should be able to, no, man, you talking to me now. You do whatever you want, but I'm not going to support you smoking weed. I don't care how legal it is. Weed alter your mind state. It puts you in a certain zone. And a lot of times it can keep you from being alert. It puts you too much in relaxation. Some cases you need to be alert. You can't do a security position or police position smoking weed or snorting cocaine. You're going to be paranoid in some cases, or you're going to be too relaxed when I need you to be on your guard. I'm not a weed smoker. And I don't support, yes, legalize it to keep brothers from going to jail for a plant. That's crazy. But I don't smoke it. And if you smoke it, I'm not down with you smoking it. I need you to be alert. We got work to do. Can't have you high to get it done. That's why they don't let you smoke weed in the military. They need you alert. And if they find out you're smoking weed, in some cases, especially when you're on duty, they're going to get rid of you. Anyway, people are free to believe how they believe. That's what this country is made of. People should be free that when they're elected, they're supposed to do what you call them to do. You didn't elect me to kiss Democratic behind. You didn't elect me to push some of these weird policies they push. You elect me to take care of you. Now, if you want me to push those policies, then I choose, and my moral convictions tell me, no, you don't do that, then I'll step down. You vote for somebody else. It's not that important. My life work is more important than anything. And some of us believe at the end of the day, we leave this earth, we're going somewhere else. And I want to hear, well done, thy good and faithful servant. You did my will, not your will. Shame on every Democrat that racially slurred this lady. You're no different from the right, ultra right, mega, ultra bigoted right. I'm not saying all of MAGA is racist. But for those racist Republicans, you're no different from them. You proved it. You're in the Democratic cult. Look how you treat somebody who decides to leave the Democratic congregation. You ostracize them, you ridicule them, and you call them all kind of shameful names. They've done that in every cult group you can think of. If they didn't find a person and deleted them, they definitely shamed them. And you are no different from that. And that's why I don't have nothing to do with you. And I'm hoping more black people wake up and say, I don't want to have nothing to do with you either. And for you Republicans that think we're just automatically going to do like she did, no, it's not going to happen. That's a mistake that she made too. Your mistake is joining another party that look at you the same way. Now, again, if that particular state Republican Party allows her to be free to think how she wants, to agree with some of their values, and to strongly disagree with those values, some of their values, without being also ridiculed, ostracized, and harassed, then I ain't got no problem with it. As long as you let her legislate the way she wants. We'll see. If the people want to keep her, keep her. I'm telling the people in her district, did you hire her to vote blue no matter who? Did you hire her to be in the cult and just do everything that they tell her to do? Did you hire her to follow every Democratic policy and procedure from the top of the DNC organization in DC all the way down to the local DNC? Did you hire her for that? Did you vote for her to just go along, get along? Did you hire her to push some of those extreme left? Are you on the extreme left? Because I know most of you not. Most of you are Democratic conservatives. My point is, if she's conservative in her values and they're matching your conservative values, then what's the problem? It ain't got nothing to do with her affiliation. It got something to do with your way of life in that district. As long as she told and protect your way of life in that district, it doesn't matter the party. It still matter the person. And for you to do what these people did, make you a shameful waste of space on this earth. You're in a cult and you need intervention and you need to get out before you go down with the rest of them. I'm Bobby Brown with the Bobby Brown Show on the go. I'll holler at you later. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Put it on always so you can know when the video is dropped. Whoop, there it is. Want to support the stream? Right here. I like a little Starbucks every now and then, a little tea. Hook a brother up, $2, $3, whatever, to support the stream. And more than anything, I usually say good morning and good night, but I don't come up here just to be coming up here. I care about life just like you. And I'm going to talk about just about anything I feel like talking about. And I had to be focused on this situation right here. Black people. And don't allow no white person to shame Black people because they have a different point of view. And more importantly, don't let your fellow Negro, immigrant or FBA, shame a person because they decide that, no, I can't go. I'm not doing that. That goes beyond my beliefs. That goes beyond my moral conviction. That goes beyond my faith. Anyway, I'm done. I'll at you later, man. Peace.